Hello, I'm John Pops Hyde and live in southwest of England. I was a handyman and I started to forget some tools and jobs and things like that, and so I went to the GP 2 years later, because we all know it takes such a long time. 2 years later I had the diagnosis of PPA, primary progressive aphasia dementia. I think because it took so long and there was such uncertainty about whether it could have been like brain tumor or cancer or any amount of other things, like, you know, when the diagnosis did hit me, I think it was probably more of a relief for me. It certainly gave me a little bit of understanding of what the issues had been, so I was grateful for that, and my family also. And I think it was the diagnosis explaining to the family my own diagnosis and what they were thinking was going wrong, which actually led me to be a bit more positive about my own dementia, if that could be a thing even. Because when I was explaining to I was in a dark place, like we all are when you get a thing hovering over you like that for that amount of time. And when I was explaining to one of my grandchildren, we got 7 grandchildren, when I was explaining to one of them, she was only, bless her, 6 at the time, I said, look, one day Pops's brain is going to forget your name. His heart will always remember who you are, but his brain will just forget your name, like, you know, so, but don't worry, you know. And then, so that wasn't the heartbreaking part of it. When she looked at me and she said, Pops, will I ever get dementia? So that really was the turning point for me about, she brought me out of my depression, my dark place, and she shone a light on my own dementia. You know, what she asked me hurt me more than my own diagnosis did, and it prompted me to do whatever I could in the remaining capacity I have to help not just Ariana, but, you know, her generation, like, in getting rid of this flipping dementia, or at least if to have something available if they develop dementia, then there's something there. We've already got to take it away from them. So I dived into research and study projects with Bristol University, yourselves, and ALZHEIME'S Society. I've done work with Sally Townsend at Bristol Dementia Wellbeing and ALZHEIME'S Society. We visit primary schools, which is fantastic for me because it's like teaching my own grandchildren again, like, you know, what dementia is, or actually more importantly what it isn't sometimes, so they don't get the stigmas. And so all that is just really giving me my purpose back in life. I lost it when I couldn't work anymore, but now I have a purpose, like, you know, and I would encourage anyone who could watch this or, you know, have access to it, if they do just have if they've just been diagnosed with anything really, cancer, whatever, you know, do something with that diagnosis. You know, don't just sit and wait for the Lord to come and get you, like, you know, just use up the rest of your capacity, time or whatever, helping other people, because it does actually help you. It gives you a purpose back, and that's what I gained from helping you guys. So Mr. Sloop came about a while back, actually before I had the diagnosis, and I wrote a story for my grandchild who was refusing to go to sleep with her unless her light was left on all night. So I came up with this little story about this character who loved going to sleep, like, you know, in the dark, like, and her mum read it to her, and lo and behold, the very next night she wanted her light off, like, you know. So over the years since then, and during the periods when I started getting a bit confused, I wrote more stories. And when I finally got the diagnosis, I ended up with more time. So my wife Bryony suggested I collect all these stories up and make them into a book, you know, for the grandchildren initially. And it just sort of snowballed and got so far. People was encouraging me to do this and that, and we had some illustrator. My wife does the illustrations for it, and all the people that read the stories thought they was wonderful for the children, like because it introduced dementia. This character called Mr. Sloop also developed dementia, and so it was a very gentle, child appropriate, age appropriate method to get education of dementia into children, so they don't have the stigmas growing in them. So when I visit the schools now with Sally Townsend, all the primary schools and that, we donate some of the books for their book corners, and they love it. In fact, we revisited a class last year, and they said, "Oh, would you mind couldn't we have a couple more books, because they've worn them out." Which to me is a good thing, like, you know, because it just helps, like, you know. We don't charge for, well, I mean, people can buy them if they want, but we don't do it for that, like, you know. It's just I'd rather give them all away, like, personally. And then as the dementia progressed, so the dementia progressed with this Mr. Sloop. So then I had to make some more stories, you know, and trying to look at the positive side of dementia and the fun side, the accidental fun things that happened, you know, with us dementia people, or Caspino words and things like that. And so there's another book that we're hoping to get published just before this side of Christmas, like, you know, Mr. Sloop 2. So all of it together, I suppose, is what I do, you know. I don't think myself as being any sort of hero or anything. I'm just telling my life as it is, like, basically, and if people get inspiration from it, that's fine and good. I suppose it does give me, the feedback gives me purpose, you know, which is a word I use quite often. Purpose. We all have to have a purpose. You guys have to have a purpose in your life, you know, if you haven't, get one. Yeah, so I look at my dementia as a passenger in my day. At the moment I'm still the driver, and I'm fully aware that one day we'll swap places and he will be driving me, but not today. One little word about how early people in research and studies can communicate their research better to the public is basically just say it how it is. You know, don't mollycoddle or beat around the bush, but just say all the bad things exactly how bad they are. But on the other side of it, you know, just please tell people that there is a positive side to it. It's a reminder that we have a life, you know, still to live, like, you know. It's a call out from you know, our own bodies, like, you know, to do something important with the rest of our days. Anyway, I wish you all the very, very, very best of luck. I've added a couple of YouTube videos which I do with Ariana, bless her. She's the one that started me off, and she now does all my filming in that for you. Hello, Ariana. So thank you very much. John has left the building.